one of their award-winning cows. We're super excited to be here. It's very mucky, it's very wet, but we are excited to go and get some ice cream. We are starting off our self-guided tour. Tillamook was actually started as a co-op in 1909, I believe. And they also helped build the first ship in Oregon because they needed a way to transport all their goods to Portland without it spoiling. So to this day, it's still a dairy co-op, and they don't have shareholders. It's owned by the co-op. So we just got some ice cream. I got some white chocolate raspberry, and you got
basic vanilla.
Wait, did you really just get vanilla?
Yeah, I couldn't. They wouldn't let us sample stuff.
Oh, you can sample mine.
Yeah, I want it. Yummy.
And so we decided to get some ice cream, and then we'll go and do the tour and show you the cheese making. So this place closes at 6, so we've got time. Okay, real fast, we're sitting here in the cafe area eating our ice cream, and outside there is a deck patio area, but there's also a statue or model of that ship I was talking about earlier. The Morning Star is what it's called. And so that was like one of the first ships in Oregon, and it was used so the farmers could get their products to Portland because it was faster by water than it was by going over the mountains and the hills. Alright, we are now back at the self-guided tour, and you can see parts of the factory through these windows here. And this is all self-guided. So first the milk arrives, and it takes 10 gallons of milk to make 1 pound of cheese. And these vats is where the milk is being piped in, bottom up so it doesn't froth, and then they get turned into curds here. Okay, so we just pointed out those vats. This here shows what's inside the vats, and those blades are what's making the curds. So if we follow the wheel here, they start separating the whey from the curds, and then the whey gets turned into like a whey protein powder. And this is happening back there at the Cheddar Master.
So they used to have these vats that they would, back in olden times, do everything by hand. But now, I guess they have a machine to do all the work for them. And if you look over there, you can see the emergency shower and eye washing station.
Good find.
It's integral for the cheddar.
And they still know how to do the open vat, and they still use it sometimes for making squeaky cheese or trying new recipes and such. So still something they do, but not as much. So over here the window's kind of dirty, but this is where they add salt. That's the only thing that's really added, and then they go in and they start forming blocks. Okay, so Kyle's gonna be doing the GoPro footage, and I'm gonna take you through the rest of the cheese process. So it all gets salted. They use a lot of salt. I think it said about 165 pounds a day. And then they have different block forming, and I'm gonna show you right now. They're down there making the cheese in the blocks.
I've been saying that the farm is a gift, so that we gave ourselves, so it's our responsibility to share with the community.
So the curds essentially get compressed, and then they become these cheese blocks. Okay, so I'm gonna try to talk over, there's a video playing, but these are big blocks. They're about 40 pounds each. And so they take them, they grab them from the conveyor belt, and they bag them, they get put into cold storage, and that's where they age. So they are grabbing 40-pound blocks of cheese down there. And all those blocks get vacuum sealed in the vacuum sealer here. So over down this way is where the cold storage is. And so you can see all the pipes still, because the milk's coming in, and there's whey that they're dealing with now. And so let's move on. So here is where the cheese gets unboxed from those big 40-pound packages we saw earlier. So this is the cutter. It gets cut into whatever sizes they're doing at the time. And then the cheese gets put on a belt. and they go over in the check weigher. So that's where they get checked and weighed. And so any scraps get put in the bins and they become shredded cheese, which is super cool that they don't just throw that away. So inside this bagger here, they have open bags ready to receive the cheese, and they go on into getting sealed in the Blue Octopus. So that is the Blue Octopus, and that's where everything gets sealed. And then they heat shrink it and it goes through a metal detector. So we are here at the end of the day, so there's not too much going on right now. I also want to point out there's mirrors down there, and so that's so workers can inspect the front and back side without having to turn each package over, which is kind of neat. So like I said, it is the end of the day, so we're not really seeing any workers in this half at all. We're just seeing some packaged cheese going and coming from the cold warehouse. So unfortunately that's all, but in this hallway there are employees who are giving away some freebies and some coupons and sign up for the newsletter and such. So hopefully we will see them come back around. We told them that we needed another minute. And Kyle is still getting some GoPro footage. Okay, one thing I do want to say, if you come here on a busy day, look through the windows obviously, but there are these yellow pictures next to each window, and I think those are way more useful, helpful, and descriptive than the actual like plaques that they have everywhere with words and answers and questions and such. So, fun tip.
So even though we haven't done much today, we're pretty tired.
It is 5, you can't even tell, so it's just after 5. This closes at 6, but we're like the only people here.
So the weather is a high wind warning, so we just want to play it safe, so we're not gonna sleep in the van tonight. We'll hit up a hotel.
We're directly on the coast, and so that's the one thing that's just like, you know what, and it was really pretty cold last night. It was really cozy, but it's just cold, and so we figured all those things together, let's just go get a nice shower in and relax. So we'll probably drive about an hour and then get a hotel, and right now we're eating some seasonal green bean mac and cheese at the Tillamook factory. So we'll update you hopefully with the hotel, and there are a couple different apps I use to kind of get some deals, so I will be sure to update on that if we use any of them. And
cheers.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Kyle and Amy from the major future but also the past. It is about like 10 p.m. and I am finishing up our Tillamook vlog and realizing we never really recapped and told you our thoughts. So
But we've talked about it a bunch with each other.
yeah.
When are we gonna do that?
So it's been almost a month.
Oops.
Oops. So we're here now to tell you about it. Do you want to go first?
There was cheese, milk. Yeah. No, it was really cool. It was really nice. It was clean. It was pretty.
So I've been there before as a child, and so this is like their new building and everything, and I kind of prefer the old one. That could just be like my childhood
Nostalgia.
yeah, nostalgia and just kind of perspective creeping in. I felt like there was more ice cream flavors. I thought, like, as a kid, I remember like you kind of got to like hold your ice cream and walk around, and I thought that was huge. And so I still really liked it. I think the building is really nice. I actually think if you're in the area, it would be a cool place to like have an event, because they do, I believe they do those. So I think that's a really cool building. I definitely think it's like, you know, a fun place to stop by, but I don't think you should make a full-on trip just to go there. And that being said, we were also there kind of at the end of the day. That wasn't our original plan. I don't really know what happened, how we got there so late in the day. We just kind of took a slow day, but we were there at the end of the day, and it was the end of the week. Just because, you know, that's when we are able to go on these trips. So we weren't able to see as much as the action as we thought, but I will say, I remember when I was little getting out of the car and being like, ew, it's so stinky because of all the cows. But this is kind of away, just a little bit away from their production sites. So Sleek, modern, glitzy, but not worth its own trip.
But we enjoyed it.
Yes, we did.